Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining here at Unapologetic Progressive. A little bit of good news on the trans rights front. There hasn't been a lot of good news on that front recently, but here's a little bit. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama, I believe it is, had a bill to ban transgender women from competing in sports. You notice I said transgender women competing in sports, not transgender men, because this bill really didn't affect transgender men, which is for another video entirely. But it was a bill to ban transgender women and girls from competing in sports at any level, basically, in a federally funded institution. College, university, high school, elementary school, wherever you may have sports, it was going to ban trans girls and women from those areas. And it failed. It passed the U.S. House 218 to 206, with two Democrats joining the Republicans to pass it out of the House. But in the Senate, it went down 51-45 because it did not meet the 60-vote threshold required to beat the filibuster. And so the bill didn't pass. It's what I would call a major setback to Trump's agenda. It's also the first time in my life I've ever seen a Democrat have a backbone. Because most Democrats don't have backbones. Most of them are cowards. But this time they stood up for what was right. Now, the thing is, it's not necessary to do this. During the hearings before the House vote, I believe it was, they asked the head person of the NCAA, how many people or how many sports participants are there in the NCAA? He said about 510,000 people. He was then asked, how many transgender athletes are there? And he stated less than 10. Not less than 10,000, not less than 100,000, less than 10. We're talking 510,000 participants and less than 10. And how many of those less than 10 trans people in college sports have you heard of being victorious and winning it all? What? You have the person that was swimming for Penn? Maybe that volleyball player from San Diego State? Or was it San Jose State that I talked about a few months ago? The fact is, in most cases, when a person transitions from male to female and they go on testosterone blockers and they're on hormones for 2 years, they don't have an advantage anymore of any kind. They lose muscle mass, they lose bone density. It's part of the process. You even end up with softer skin, which could mean, say in combat sports, you're more likely to bruise, more likely to get cut. So this is just asinine. These people, they don't understand any of this stuff. It doesn't make sense. But the fact is, people should not be banned from sports simply because they're transgender. But even as a trans person, I understand that maybe there should be some things put in place, right? Like, I liked the previous NCAA rules they had before, right? Before Donald Trump was elected this last time. Because they were based in science. They weren't based in people's feelings. They were based in science. Because studies have shown that after 2 years on hormones, there is absolutely no advantage for a trans woman over a assigned female at birth woman. There isn't a huge difference. In that I think Leah Thompson, was that her name, out of Penn? She spent, I think, a year or two on hormones and was still swimming in the men's division until it became obvious that they were, no longer a male, right? Until they had passed the threshold that they had to move over to the women's sports. And yeah, she did really well. But you know what? That's an outlier. Is it possible that she's just a good swimmer? But for once, the Democrats have done something proper. The Democrats blocked this bill, and on another video and another day, we will get into exactly the misogyny that is intertwined in the fact that trans men were not involved in this particular ban. But these people don't know what they're talking about. These are the same people that are okay with banning, trans women from darts and chess. What they're trying to do is just ban trans women from everything, from public life. And it's not fair. It's not reasonable. And it's not based on facts. Anyhow, y'all have a good day. I'll see you down the road. I hope you have a good weekend. And I will try to get into that disgraceful State of the Union address next week. All right. Have a good day.